the crowded alleys of Oko Market, Mom. Jiro's stall was modest, but always busy on display. Rows of deep red palm oil gleamed in wide clay pots, glistening under the morning sun. People whispered about its color, the perfect richness, and how it made every dish taste fuller. This one, the best red palm oil in the market, pure and fresh, Mom Jriro called, her voice soft but commanding. No one suspected anything unusual to the eye. It was ordinary palm oil. To the nose, it smelled like any other, but something about it made dishes feel heavier, linger on the tongue, almost too alive soon. Subtle changes began first. It was Mama Ngozi. She cooked her usual egusi soup and offered it to her husband. The taste was strange, slightly metallic, and her stomach twisted after the first bite. She frowned, blaming herself. Maybe I overcooked it. Maybe I didn't season it well. Her husband didn't wait for her explanation. You can't even cook properly anymore, Ngozi, he snapped. I'm tired of this food. She was chased out of the house, confused and humiliated, unaware that the problem had never been her cooking next. It was little Abina's wife. She had stirred the soup, added pepper and onions, and even tasted it herself. By the time she served it to her family, everyone felt sluggish and feverish. Their tongues could barely detect the flavors they loved. The red oil glistened innocently in her pot, thick and vivid, hiding its dark secret. People didn't notice the faintly darker streaks settling at the bottom of the containers, just a subtle, almost unnoticeable thickening. A few who looked closer thought it was normal sediment. All the while, Mama Jriro watched from her stall, her face serene, her hands busy packing new jars of red palm oil. To the market, she was just a quiet, hard-working woman. To anyone else, she was harmless. But the truth was darker. The very oil they trusted to flavor their meals carried the essence of life, harvested in ways no one could imagine. Every dish made with it would bend their health, confuse their senses, and slowly turn their lives upside down without them ever suspecting the source. Mom Jriro whispered to herself as she poured the oil into another clay pot. So sweet, they trust me. They never see what lies beneath. And the market continued to bustle, everyone hungry for her perfect red palm oil, completely unaware that it was not just oil. It was something far, far more sinister. When the market emptied and the sun disappeared behind the rooftops, Mama Jriro went quietly to her hut behind the stall. The hut looked old and empty, but inside it was a place of power. Herbs hung from the ceiling, smoke curled around the walls, and the air smelled strange, almost metallic. Mama Jriro closed the door and whispered a chant under her breath. Her eyes glowed faintly in the dark tonight. She would do what only she could do as people slept in their homes. Mama Jriro moved silently through the shadows. She was a witch, and she had the shadows. She was a witch, and she had the power to feed from their blood while they dreamed. One by one, she visited them, her hands never touching the skin, her voice low and soft, lulling them into deep sleep while they slept. She drew tiny drops of blood, just enough, and stored it in a small crystal vial. The people never woke. They never knew. And in the morning, they would feel only a little weaker. Nothing more. Back in her hut, she poured the dark red blood into her fresh palm oil. The oil changed instantly. It became thicker, richer, almost alive. She stirred slowly, whispering another chant, blending life into the oil itself. By dawn, the red palm oil was ready for sale. Mama Jriro smiled, packed her jars, and returned to the market. To everyone else, she was just a quiet woman selling red palm oil. But inside that oil was the life of the people she had visited. The effects were subtle at first. Mama Ngozi cooked her usual egusi soup with Mama Jriro's oil. Her husband ate, and the taste felt off. Heavy, metallic, strange. His stomach hurt, his head throbbed. He shouted at Mama Ngozi, blamed her for the food. She cried, confused. Soon, more people began to feel weak. Meals no longer tasted right. Families argued. Husbands accused wives of losing their touch in the kitchen. Nobody suspected Mom Jriro. She watched quietly from her stall, smiling, stirring another jar of oil in her mind. They think it's just normal oil, she whispered, but it is their life I put inside. And they will never know. Her red palm oil continued to sell tempting, innocent looking and deadly. Every spoonful carried a secret, a dark magic, and a piece of someone's life. By the third week, Mom Jriro's red palm oil had become the talk of every home in the village. People came from far and near, buying jars for their own use, for friends, and even to resell in small stores. Her stall in the market always crowded. Some women carried empty basins and large buckets, filling them with the thick, glistening red oil. Others came with empty jars from their shops, eager to resell the best oil in the village. Mama Jriro oil, nah, the best one, woman shouted, lifting her jar for everyone to see. If you no get you dey miss something. Even small stores started asking her for supply. She delivered oil quietly at night or early morning before anyone noticed. Vendors paid her generously, calling her their secret source. Word spread so fast that some villagers whispered, if you never buy Mom Jriro oil, no sabi food. Her reach grew beyond the village. Some young men with small online shops started advertising her oil on social media. Orders came from towns far away. Mama Jriro smiled every time she packed a new shipment, knowing the blood inside each jar carried her power, her secret, and her control. But not everyone thrived on her oil. Some people, unknowingly, began to feel weak. A family in the next village complained of strange tastes in their soup. Children refused to eat, husbands grumbled at their wives. They did not know the cause, blaming bad cooking, bad ingredients, or even bad luck yet. The praise was louder than the whispers of sickness. Every morning, vendors came to her hut to refill stock. Every afternoon, the market buzzed with her name. Women carried her oil in baskets, chatting excitedly about how it made their food taste perfect. Some even said it made their husbands come home happy, praising the flavor. Mama Jriro watched it all with quiet satisfaction. Her power was spreading like fire. Every jar sold, every meal cooked, every spoonful eaten, it was part of her spell. People loved her oil, trusted her, and never suspected the dark magic hidden inside. Even the villagers who felt slightly weak, who started noticing a metallic taste or heaviness in the food, shrugged it off. The magic of her reputation was stronger. Then doubt they think it's just oil, she whispered, stirring another jar in her mind. But it is more than oil, it is life, it is control. And I cannot see if her red palm oil had become more than a product. It was a power that ruled the village, unseen, silent, and unstoppable. The village was buzzing with gossip. Some people whispered about strange sicknesses, others about sudden deaths. Families mourned quietly, confused and scared. Nobody knew the cause. Mama Jriro's red palm oil was everywhere. People still bought it for their homes, their shops, their neighbors. It was praised, loved, and trusted. Nobody suspected that the woman behind the jars was the one controlling life and death at night. Mom Jriro moved like a shadow through the village. One by one, she visited her victims while they slept. Her magic allowed her to draw their blood silently, effortlessly. Just a few drops, enough to feed her power and enrich her oil. They never woke. They never remembered by morning. Some of her victims felt weak. A little headache, a little dizziness. They shrugged it off, thinking it was fatigue or bad food. But over the days, the sickness grew stronger. Their strength drained. Their skin grew pale. Their families watched helplessly as they withered, never understanding why then the deaths started. First, it was a young man who sold yams at the market, then a mother who ran a small shop near the river. Each one died suddenly, mysteriously. The village mourned, and rumors began, but nobody guessed the truth. Meanwhile, Mom Jriro continued selling her oil, always smiling, always calm. She delivered to shops, filled the jars of vendors, and watched as her reputation grew. Some praised her oil for making food taste perfect. Others whispered about the deaths but feared her. They say it is bad luck, one villager murmured. But who knows? Mom Jriro laughed quietly to herself. Her power was invisible, her secret safe, Every jar she sold, every spoonful eaten, carried a little life she had taken. Every death added to her magic, making her oil even more powerful. Her eyes glowed in the dark hut as she stirred a new batch of crimson palm oil. The blood of the village, the strength of life, all mixed inside. They never see me. They never know, she whispered. This is my power, my oil, my life. And as the sun rose, the market filled again with villagers carrying her red palm oil, unaware that with every meal, they were feeding the witch who ruled their lives and their deaths for months. The village suffered. People kept falling sick. Some died suddenly. Families cried and still did not understand why their food tasted strange or why their soup sometimes turned thick like jelly. But Mama Jriro continued smiling, selling her red palm oil, her blood oil, to everyone. Her business grew bigger. Her customers increased. Shops, small stores, market women, even online buyers rushed to her. Nobody knew the truth until one day a blind old man entered the village. Nobody knew him. Nobody had ever seen him before. His eyes were white, but his voice carried power. He stood in the center of the marketplace and shouted. People gathered around him, confused and afraid. Mama Jriro stood far at her stall, her heart shaking for the first time. The blind man slowly pointed his staff in her direction, though he could not see her. The crowd gasped. Mama Jriro froze suddenly. The ground shook gently just once. The palm oil in her big yellow gallons started bubbling on its own. As if boiling, the villagers screamed. One container opened by itself and a dark red mist rose out, forming the faint shape of human faces, people who had died. Some villagers cried when they recognized their loved ones. Mama Jriro stepped back. Shaking, her witchcraft was no longer hiding. The blind man lifted his staff at night. She walks in spirit. She sucks the blood of the weak and the sleeping. She keeps their life inside her oil. Those who use it eat death little by little. People began screaming, running back, hiding behind each other. Mama Jriro tried to speak, but her voice cracked. A strong wind blew across the marketplace. Her wrapper lifted. Her shadow stretched on the ground, growing long and crooked. Her eyes glowed deep red. Everyone fell to the ground in fear. The blind man spoke again. Your darkness is exposed. Jriro, your covenant is broken. Your victims cry for justice, Mama Jriro shouted, her voice no longer sounding human. The gallons of palm oil exploded into thick red splashes, but this time, not like oil, like blood. People screamed and ran. A bright flash of light hit Mama Jriro. The plates of blood she hid in her shrine broke. Her charm pot cracked. Every spiritual power she had collected over the years scattered into dust. She vanished, not dead, not alive, just gone. Like smoke. Some said she was swallowed by the spirit world. Others said she ran into the forest to rebuild her powers. Nobody knew, but one thing became clear. The spell over the village finally broke. The sick began to get better. Families cooked again without fear. No more deaths, no more strange thick soup. He finished speaking, turned around, and walked away. Within seconds he disappeared. Some people said he was an angel sent to save the village. Others said he was a wandering seer guided by the cries of the dead. But one thing remained true. Mama Jriro's evil ended. The night light met darkness. Mama Jriro vanished that night, disappearing from the village forever. But she did not simply vanish. She was taken to the hidden coven, the place where witches like her drew their power. The moment she appeared, the air turned cold. Shadows twisted like living snakes. The coven elders stood in a circle, their eyes glowing red, their voices low but full of anger. Jriro, one of the elders, thundered, "How dare you disgrace us? How dare you fail to bring enough blood from your village?" Mama Jriro trembled but quickly bowed low. I am sorry, elders. I never meant to fail. Please do not punish me. I will complete my mission. Another elder stepped forward, voice like breaking iron. Sorry will not feed the oil. Sorry will not give power. You have let your pride weaken your work. Blood must flow, Jriro, and now you must go. Go to the city. Gather more blood. Sell your oil. Do not return without success. Mama Jriro's heart pounded. She dropped to her knees. Please, I promise, I will not fail again. I will complete my mission. I will bring you blood. More than ever before, please have mercy. The elder studied her. Silence stretching like hours then. Slowly, the coven leader raised his hand, shadows parted, and a dark mist swirled around her. Go, he said. You have one last chance. Fail again, and the spirits will claim you. But succeed, and your power will grow beyond your dreams. Mama Jriro bowed again, her eyes gleaming with determination and ambition. I will not fail. I will make you proud. The mist swallowed her, carrying her to a distant city, far from her old village. Her jars of crimson oil, her secret, and her magic traveled with her as she arrived. She stepped into the new city with a cruel smile. This was a new beginning, a new market, new people, new blood, and the promise of power that would grow even stronger than before. The coven had given her a warning. They had given her a mission, and Mama Jriro would stop at nothing to complete it. The legend of the red palm oil witch was far from over. Mama Jriro arrived in the new city early in the morning, her mind full of plans. The coven had warned her, scolded her, and sent her out with one final mission: bring more blood. Do not fail again. Determined, she stepped into the busy streets, searching for a shop to rent. She smiled to herself, touching one of the small bottles of blood hidden in her bag. This city will fear me, she whispered. I will grow stronger. Then before she crossed the road, her eyes fixed on a shop to let sign across the street. She didn't see the speeding trailer horn break in one split second. The trailer slammed into her. People screamed. Goods scattered. Her bag flew open, the small bottles inside shattering on the ground, crimson liquid spreading across the asphalt. By the time the crowd rushed to help, Mama Jriro was gone, broken, silent, lifeless. Her mission ended before it began. The witch who once terrified a whole village met her end on a strange city street, not by magic but by fate itself, and that was the final story of Mama Jriro, the woman whose red oil carried blood and fear. So I want to use this opportunity to tell you that Jesus loves you, and he said he's coming again. Me and you don't. No one is coming. He can come at any time we did not expect. It is now, that is not yet come, that we have the opportunity and the grace to repent and give our life to him now that we are alive. Give your life to him. Today he's waiting. No matter how far you are gone with your sin, he will still forgive you. Don't miss this opportunity today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share so you don't miss our next stories.